Okay, this new female character did some scum stuff, like some really scummy tactics, and honestly, it really just goes to show you shouldn't really expect a character to be normal in this series. There has to be some form of hidden side to them that we're kind of unaware of. I mean, we've already seen this a few times, especially with Sun-kun and Pansy, Cosmos, the student council president. We have definitely seen that there is characters that have, like, a hidden, darker personality, and it seems like this new female character is definitely following that routine of having a hidden motive that's just outright scummy. So to get right into it, basically, the way I took it, by the way this episode is trying to present it to us, the audience, is that the individual that was following around Joro throughout this episode of Oresuki, she actually deliberately set him up and published that newspaper, not on accident. She lied, it wasn't on accident, and she published it just for she can have Joro to herself. Pretty much exclude him from all outside interactions, isolate him where nobody's around him, and she has him for herself. It's truly scummy. Like, honestly, it's on a whole other level, because it's different from, I guess, stalking someone. Yes, stalking's pretty bad. And it's also bad to literally think that you don't want to lose to your friend, so you straight up ruin his relationships with, his other friends, etc. That's also very scummy to do. And, I mean, you can look at what this female character is doing. She is on par with Sun-kun and what he did, technically, when you really look at the ramifications that is going on. But the main point, though, of what this female character is doing is not necessarily in the same context. You see, Sun-kun, I'm not saying he gets off lightly. He's still awful, in my opinion. Even if he tries to redeem himself, he's not someone I think really deserves someone or even friendship, personally, after what he has done to Joro. But I've already discussed this in my episode review, so I'm not going to get into that. The point, though, is that with Sun-kun's, I guess, hidden personality, what he did, he was doing it because he just didn't like losing to Joro. He just wanted to be on top for once and not lose. And it wasn't because he was seeking romantic relationship with Joro, etc. So Joro, technically, once he left school, etc., he would be able to fundamentally have a better life. Let's say things never worked out, he never got to talk with, anyone again within school. At the very least, Joro, he might have been messed up to some degree, but once he left school, he could have definitely have found a new group of friends, at the work or somewhere. He could have still made a life for himself, because technically, Sun-kun wasn't trying to be romantic with him, have him for himself. That's what separates this female character from Sun-kun, is that this female character, from my understanding, she's trying to isolate Joro to such a degree to where he falls in love with her, and the only choice that he has is her. It's very similar to kind of what Joro thinks, how he was kind of talking about if one of the girls choose, Sun-kun, the ones that are left over would decide to choose him. So basically, he has, to pick, whoever's left behind. And kind of, that's what this female character is doing, is that she's not necessarily waiting for, so-and-so to pick. She's actively destroying the other relationships where they don't have a choice, and Joro has to choose her. So it's messed up, because she's theoretically ruining his entire life and wanting to be with him while ruining his entire life. A relationship like that will never work. And I'm just going to be honest with you. Even if, okay, it is revealed she is doing this, etc., and she may never do it again within the story, it does not change the fact that because of her love for Joro at some degree, that she literally ruined his life just to be with him. That is not right by any means. You can say whatever you want about Pansy and how she was stalking him, and, she says some mean things from time to time again, but overall, she isn't brutal. She isn't absolutely just vicious to Joro. She does care about him, and she has actively tried to better him as a person. The whole reason he went out of his way and made friends with his old friends again was because of her. So she is definitely a good influence on him. But when you see this new female character, she is the exact opposite of Pansy. She is kind of like a stalker, but at the same time, she's someone that doesn't want what's best for Joro. She doesn't want him happy. She wants herself happy. So she is very selfish. She does not care about Joro's happiness whatsoever, which, like I said, is the opposite of Pansy, because she does care about Joro's happiness. Even if he doesn't ever select her, I think she would just truly be happy if he is happy. I think she could really live with herself if, you know, he did find out that he was just happy with someone else. I don't think she would be, you know, stuck on it forever. I think she would be able to live with it and be happy for herself as well, because Joro is happy. But, getting back into the main point, though, is that this new female character, it was really something that I didn't really know how to peg her at first. Like, I didn't know if she was a bad person or not until the final sequence of the episode, when you see Cosmos just watching from a distance while Joro and her are dancing. Because honestly, when you see her character, she seems very kind. She doesn't seem like a bad person. She does absolutely seem like, yes, she wants a news story, but at the end of the day, she wants what's best. It seemed like she wanted what's best for, you know, the people that are going to read the news, but also for Joro. So I was like, okay, she seems like a really good person. Then episode, you know, continues on, and I'm just like, that doesn't kind of make sense. How does a news article that you said you weren't going to publish until a certain date just randomly get published early and slides in to the articles? It just doesn't make sense. Why would you have something like that laying around that could accidentally slip in? It just, that, once again, I just don't think that she's someone like that. That's very sloppy news reporting, in my opinion, and also, that's not usually how it goes, because usually if you're going to give, let's say, an article over to someone, usually it's going to be reviewed, and they're going to probably talk to the, you know, the reporter that did it, to be able to know if they should post this and find out more information about it. So I just, when you look at it, it's very obvious that the new female character did what she did to ruin Joro's relationships with everyone else, which I don't think at the end of the day is really going to ruin them permanently. Everybody is going to become friends, especially after what happened in the last episode, in the first arc of the story. Honestly, at this point, I really don't see anything necessarily making them split up as friends, because look, if Joro and everybody else can kind of make friends again, make peace after what Sun-kun did, and how he acted and what he said, then, like I said, nothing's really going to break those friends apart. They'll have more dysfunctional arguments, etc., but they're never truly going to be separated. The only way I could ever see them separated is if one of them killed each other. That's the only way I could see it, but obviously this is not a series like that, so it's not going to happen. So yeah, but okay. Anyways, dropping that for now, though, let's talk about one of the big things that I liked about this episode, and that is really just seeing how Joro as an individual, even though we know how he is, technically he is rotten to a certain degree, scummy in his mind. As I've already personally said, he isn't necessarily a bad guy, because even if he has some impure thoughts and he thinks some things that are just not necessarily good, it's not actually saying that he is doing those things. You can think whatever you want, as long as if you don't act upon it and do it, I think he's kind of free to some degree. And even though he does, you know, like, oh, I can have a harem, etc., and he started adding in this new girl as his harem, it doesn't change the fact, though, that he hasn't really done that, and he does respect everybody's feelings, and he won't be hurt if he doesn't get everyone. He'd be fine with just one. So I think in the end, you know, Joro is a really decent person, which is one of the reasons why Pansy likes him to begin with. Which, by the way, we had the fabled return of Bench-kun. Anyone else notice that the scene in question with the bench was literally a Darth Vader theme? Like, was I the only one that noticed that? I don't know if that was intentional or not, but literally when the bench popped up, you had it to where the music behind the scenes was literally Darth Vader. It was Star Wars music, and I'm like, really? Like, you're really doing this? I mean, I guess it really just says that the bench is truly pure evil. It's a part of the dark side, and that Joro wants to avoid it at all costs. It's kind of hilarious, honestly. I had a good laugh just seeing that scene. There was also another reference to another show, which I can't really name on the top of my head, but I know the series that it was definitely referencing / parodying in that moment of the episode. The characters, you know, facial structures changed, like Joro's, you know, face changed. I know it was parodying a very, like, good series. I know it's a good series because I have seen that art style and I've seen parts of the manga, so I know what they're referencing. It's just like I don't exactly know the name of it, like I said, on the top of my head. But yeah, anyways, though, I think that's pretty much about it. It's a good episode of Oresuki. I enjoyed it from start to finish, and I am very interested to see exactly how, you know, the group is going to get out of this one, how Joro is going to be able to overcome this situation. I do think that the more that we see from this arc, it seems like Joro's not going to be the one that necessarily handles this one. It's probably going to be Pansy, Cosmos, Sun-kun, the childhood friend. It's probably going to be all of them that kind of, you know, figure out what's really going on here and expose that female character for who she truly is for Joro to understand. I can see something like that happening. But for now, though, I'm going to leave it at that. I love you guys. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. If you enjoy my content, you know, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. And if you want to get notified for whenever I upload a video, please click the bell icon down below. And with that, Chibi out.